I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace. And we're the Disruptors. Well, it was nice of you to finally show up, Mr. Lee.
It was sunshiny outside, and I was not interested in coming into the cave.
Oh my gosh, we call that mole
with
therapy.
With chickens and the dog and the snakes.
Mole therapy. That explains your eyes being squinty.
No, I don't think so. I think that this is in the pits. The only thing missing is tar. Tar pits.
There we go.
What are we doing today now that we've ruined my afternoon?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Our next guest went ahead and they shared a post on Facebook, and I was so intrigued by the post that I had to have them come on and talk to us about the value of water.
Of water.
Water. Yeah, is there an echo? Water. So I am proud to present Betty Schroeder of Kangen Water. Welcome to the show, Betty.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for the invitation.
You bet. Okay, so now you had a post that you put on Facebook, and it was a video that talked about plastic being in
sea salt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Plastic, this is really scary, and most people don't even think about that. They can't wait to buy the sea salt so that they can make themselves better, their health better. And this was alarming because this is in a lot of different sea salts, and it's just a shreds of plastic. You don't even know you're getting it. But it's, you can't digest it. It won't dissolve in your body. I don't care.
Well, this is quite a move that's on a global scale, because what happens was after we watched that video, then it actually opened up the other question of the different dangers of bottled water. With they just had a bunch of worms in bottled water.
Yes, they did.
Bound in plastic. So it's all kind of the same vein here.
That's right. It was Coca-Cola had to recall a lot of Dasani. It was, and you can't see it because they're clear. They're like, if you've ever worked with ice machines, if you ever, when you were a kid or whatever, if you had a job where you were working in fast food, one of the things that happens is ice worms set up in your ice, and you have to clean these things pretty periodically in order to keep everything sterilized. Well, now then it's showing up in bottled water, so how long has that water been in that bottle? And how many of them have you drank? This is a parasite. Can you digest it? What's it going to do to your body?
Well, that's very true. And I noticed underneath it, they now have expiration dates. So I researched back, and bottled water has a 1-year shelf life, which I didn't realize.
Well,
1 year.
1 year, and that's it. Yes. And after that, I don't know if they pour it out or if they just put it back on the shelf and nobody pays attention, or what happens.
Well, how many of us have ever paid attention to an expiration of water?
Yeah,
not me.
Nobody does. Nobody does. And I know when we're shopping and we find people that are getting a whole cart full of water, what we do is we give them a Kangen S&B Kangen Water card, because people just don't realize what is in their water. Would love for them to take a look at our card. We've got a URL number on the back of our card, or if you look at our Facebook page for S&B Kangen Water, there's a lot of information on that page, and just to kind of bring you current with what's happening with water.
Well, I don't think people realize how important water plays in our health. And, we're 60%, 70%?
75.
Right around 70, yeah.
75%
water. And so if, it's as important as, because we have Dr. Munson on the show who talks about how important it is for food-wise or whatever you're putting in. And, there's a lot of information on what organic, right? Raw is better. On and on and on. But There's the element that's always missing. Well, I'm drinking my water, yes, but is it water that you're actually able to metabolize? Is it water that you're actually able to assimilate? Is it good stuff or is it filled with chemicals? Because I know the water that usually comes out of our tap is full of fluoride. And what else?
Chlorine. You've got chlorine. You've got all kinds of poisons. And they just in Tacoma, they put another additive to keep the pipes from rusting. Well, I'm not so concerned about their pipes as I'm concerned about my own pipes.
That's a great point. You got that, Bill?
I certainly
do. You got rusty
pipes?
My
pipes are rusted, so I'll move to South Hill, yes.
Yeah, I think you got rusty pipes.
And it's,
Well,
it's horrible.
You don't want to name names or whatever, but the fact is that every municipality that is taking care of our water
Has to add something.
They have to, because it doesn't work otherwise. There's all kinds of things, bacteria that sets up in the water.
Very true. So it's kind of like taking the water and putting a coat on it so that it won't be affected by any bacteria until it gets to your house.
There you go.
Now when we take it out of the faucet, there's where the problems start. Even though I understand the chlorine within 24 hours will evaporate if left in an open container, when you're thirsty, you're not going to wait for 24 hours for
No,
drinking
and all
water.
that stuff causes cancer. I mean, is there any studies that talk about how with cancer being on the rise? And
I haven't seen any yet, but we're all full of chemicals. We're all full of water. So you would think that when you pump a bunch of chemicals in there, the body's going to start reacting strangely.
That's right. The wonderful thing about Kangen water, the very word Kangen in Japanese means back to origin. So this water actually takes you back to the origin before anything is put in it, and it's actually microstructured so that your particular cells in your body are like a hexagon. Mm-hmm. And Kangen water is shaped like a hexagon. And so therefore every time you drink Kangen water, it's going right into your cells. Unlike the water that you get from the tap, which is actually round in the microstructure of it. So it's not hydrating you. You're only getting a small amount of the water that you're drinking. So the Kangen water is structured so that you're going to get a maximum amount of hydration from it. Not only that, but it's got electrolysis. These devices are absolutely amazing. In Japan, they're a registered medical device. Mr. Oshiro, who developed this marvelous machine in Japan, Okinawa to be exact, he wanted everyone to have the ability to have clean water that was actually helping them and not killing them in their homes. So I love this water device, and the taste of Kangen water is wonderful. Once you begin to drink this water, you do not want to go back to your public water system.
It's kind of like being out in nature and having the waterfalls. You can hear them coming down with the clean,
fresh water, refreshing.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that's been scrubbed by rocks and the friction.
But I mean, there's no taste. I mean, it's just
it
water.
tastes yummy.
Water.
It's almost sweet.
Unbelievable.
That's right. It is almost sweet. It's extremely good, and good for you. Water itself doesn't. It's not going to cure anything, but your body is designed so that it can be flushed and washed, and that's what water is supposed to do for you. It washes bad things out of the cells in your body and helps your...
on this. Washing bad things. You and your pipes. Remember, we were just talking about it. You and your rusty pipes.
Well, it'll wash the rust right out of your pipes.
Out of the pipes.
Right out of the pipes, Mr. Lee.
We want those pipes clean.
We got to have them clean. Pardon me while I have some dirty water here and wash out my pipes. Yeah.
Well, gurgle, but if that was Kangen water, that would be so much better for you.
Yeah, well, that's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
You know, they've discovered that the bottles, the caps on the bottles, actually it kind of slivers off little small fragments, and it gets in your water whenever you're drinking. I thought that was an interesting thing also. So there's a lot of people looking at the water now, because I think that, first off, I've been concerned about water for over 25, 30 years, where we have less potable water now than every year it gets a little bit less. So we need everybody be aware of what's happening with our water. And you really need to know what municipalities are putting in your water. It's just like, back east when they overdid or didn't do what they were supposed to, and people became actually ill. They were ill.
Well, and we have several places, people don't often know this, but we've got several places in the United States that our drinking water is not safe. No. So it's no different than a third world country.
That's right.
That, they have to go to the store, and buy all of their water because it isn't safe for human consumption. And we don't talk about that here in the United States, because after all, there's a chicken in every pot, and it's Blissville, USA, but there are sections that it's no different than a third world country.
That's exactly right. That's really true. The infrastructure of this country, they keep doing a lot of talking about it, but they aren't upgrading a lot of things that they need to be doing.
You don't see them working on the reservoirs. You don't see them working on the water system, although Puyallup did dig up their wooden water mains finally.
Well, that's good.
About 3 years ago.
Wooden?
Yes. The original water mains of Puyallup were made out of wood.
Oh my gosh, were you there when they dug them up, dug them in, or put them in?
No, I wasn't. I was there when they removed them. Yes,
that was only 3 years ago.
Yes, not when they put
Rusty
them
pipes,
in.
and you've been here since the wood stuff have been, or the wood things.
I'm getting no respect at all on this conversation, none whatsoever. No, they actually were wood.
Interesting,
and they'd been down for a good 100 years at least. And people have been drinking the water
out of nasty wood.
Well, probably, I don't know.
Well, after 100 years, let's be honest, that wood could not have been pristine.
Well, no, of course not. But people drank it anyway. When I moved to Puyallup, born in Puyallup, I came from Tacoma for a day. But when I came to Puyallup anyway, the water was fantastic.
Oh, it was wonderful.
Jiminy Christmas. You wouldn't remember this, Candace, because this is pre-dinosaur stuff we're talking about.
Watch out. Be careful. What's and you're older than me.
It was interesting, though, that everybody loved it. You go to the city of Tacoma, and you could take the bottle of water or a glass and sit out there and take one. And you knew, that came out of the Tacoma water system because of the chlorine and stuff was so strong.
Yes.
You couldn't
it's
drink
terrible now. I mean, it's terrible today. A lot of times you'll take a glass of water because at this time we're on Tacoma Water.
Oh, okay.
And I believe it's a wonderful water system, but they've got a lot of chlorine in it, and it does not. You can smell it. So why do you want to drink it? So it definitely turns me off.
You have other things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
that's okay.
There's also something that Kangen has a product that filters out the shower too. Is that correct?
Oh yes, that's called an spa. And there's a beautiful place in Hawaii that you go for rest and relaxation, and it's way up in the mountain, and it's wonderful. It's they've got it's a spa situation, and the water is very, very, very clean, very pure.
Water.
Oh, pure water.
Pure water.
And it's absolutely wonderful. Well, this spa, they actually put the rocks from I'm not going to pronounce it right, but it's the something hot springs in Japan, and some rocks from this hot springs are actually put in every spa. And so, along with the filtration system that goes into this spa, you get this wonderful feeling like you're getting a real mineral shower.
I'll be darned.
So, and otherwise, every time you turn that water on, you're getting approximately 5 cups of chlorine. In your body is like a little sponge. That's the largest organ in your body, and it absolutely absorbs the chlorine. So every day, whenever you shower, whenever you bathe, you're getting approximately 5 cups of chlorine that your body alone is just absorbing. So that's the beautiful spa. I got one. I love it because I want to do the most I can for my health. I don't mind growing old, but I don't want to rust along the way while I'm doing it.
Have you noticed the word rust again?
Well, that's because we were concerned about your pipes, Bill.
Thank you so much.
So
if
let's
it's
say
5 cups each day of chlorine,
that's just your
I'm
shower.
up to a good size, camper truck.
Well, think about every time you wash your hands.
Yes.
And then you're drinking it, so you're
Correct.
ingesting it, you're soaking it up in your skin. It's pretty alarming, the amount of chlorine. And where did chlorine come from when you're thinking about it? Do you have any idea about the history of chlorine?
No, but can you fill us in on that?
Well, in Germany, World War I, this is way back in the early 1900s. Whenever
she was a boy.
That was a boy then,
With clean pipes. Go ahead.
And they were World War I. And they developed a thing called chlorine gas, and they used to absolutely gas the doughboys with this gas. It was horrible, and it blinded you. It made you sick. You